Hello, how's everybody
Hey.
tonight? We are amongst a bunch of other people that are live right now, so we may not have our. Wait just a minute, I'm about to go dead here.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Okay, I'm hurrying.
plug
I'm
that
hurrying.
plug that in.
I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying.
This is how the days went. Plug that into that white cord. Is that plugged in? There it is. It went back now.
Okay, it must be.
I think it's my. No, it's not plugged in now. I think it's this cord here. I've got some problems that I meant to get. Yes.
Okay.
Hold on just a minute. I got it. It always happens when you're fixing to go live. I've got to get it. I got a new cord up there in my box, but I do not have it on here.
Are we live?
So yes, we're good right now, I think. See here? It says it's charging, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hey, Rhonda.
A lot of people are on tonight because of Gabby's autopsy results, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but we got a guest on. We're supposed to have a guest on here in a little bit. As soon as she comes on, we'll address it. But while we are here together, I do want to talk about this. Two things that were learned in the autopsy today, that was in Gabby's autopsy. The coroner said that she died by strangulation, which is a big thing. Everybody was saying before that there supposedly was gunshots in some trees out near where she was recovered, and it just spurred a bunch of rumors that he had a gun and may have done something. But strangulation is up close and personal, and it tends to be a stiffer sentence if you're convicted, because it takes about 6 minutes to strangle somebody with your hands and kill them, or anything, some type of object. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes. They've said this. So in 5 or 6 minutes of strangling somebody, you have the opportunity to cancel out or say no, or if he's in some type of rage, that to basically think about what he's doing, not to kill somebody you supposedly love. So 5 or 6 minutes of strangulation is brutal. It's very, very brutal. And also another thing he said, the coroner said, now I don't know if this was accidental or on purpose, but he said Dr. Blue made the statement regarding domestic abuse. Was it a slip? I think it probably was a slip in this, as they were talking here. He actually said many people are suffering from domestic abuse, and this wouldn't have been probably brought up and well publicized if it hadn't have been a blogger or a YouTuber. So he said that about the domestic violence. So, and we don't know if this if the person had if how long she had been out in the wilderness. They said that she died about 3 to 4 weeks after, before she was found. So what they think is that she might have died shortly after making that phone call, the last phone call to her mother. And so we don't know if, what I'm thinking is maybe she was having doubts about the getting married to him, and maybe she said something about that because they'd already had some fights where he seen slapping her. So
he obviously had a temper too because
yeah,
of what happened in the
and
restaurant.
right, and the fact is too that he was very. They said he was very demanding and controlling, and that maybe he saw this YouTube channel as a way of her expressing some independence on the air, and also that he maybe was afraid that he was going to get caught because he apparently had abused her. I mean, he slapped her around that day, and you do it once that easily, he probably had done it before. And I'm sure she probably said, "Look, saw the light, said, you know what? It's not going to work. We're not going to, we're not going to get married if." And he's already said, "To death do us part." And so
A lot of people speculated she was pregnant, but she
she
wasn't.
was not pregnant. That's what the coroner said. She was not pregnant. He wouldn't elaborate. I watched the entire thing. He would not elaborate on if she was killed somewhere else and brought to the scene, if she was buried or not, but or she had if animals had gotten to her. They did not say anything. He did say that they recovered DNA at the scene and it was turned over to the FBI. So um, but that can easily be explained by his defense team because they were living with each other. But so I think it's a pretty good. We all figured it was domestic anyway, but I'm just wondering. But the one thing the people said that was totally wrong. Somebody asked them if he could be charged and tried without being caught. Now, I don't think any DA would try him without being caught. But yes, he can be charged. That'd be just like me getting a warrant on somebody and then going out and have to hunt them down for the warrant. You can charge anybody with anything. It don't matter where they are. So yes, I think he will be charged with with murder. I think this will be. It was not strangulation. Cannot be a manslaughter.
No.
It cannot be a negligent homicide. It can criminal negligent homicide. It cannot be even. I think it'll either be first, second degree murder, and also maybe they don't know the mindset of the person, but you know it's going to be an aggravated kind of case, aggravated homicide or
It
something.
couldn't even be what they called an all of a sudden. What did they call that?
Um,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, you're thinking of somebody that does it at a spur of the moment type.
Yeah,
Uh, no, because it takes 5 to 6 minutes for him to
right.
die.
That's what I mean.
If you may have gone to, he might have gone into a rage, but and grabbed her around the throat and started choking her. But as time went on, I want you to do something tonight when you go to bed. Lay down in bed and just try to close your fist as hard as you can and time it. Try to do it for 5 minutes. It's incredibly hard to do that. I mean, you take your fists as hard as you can and close them for 5 minutes. Because you see, if you have somebody wrap your hands wrapped around somebody's throat
How long 5
for
minutes is?
5 minutes, it's a long time.
I can tell y'all
So,
because I do Instagram, and Instagram will not allow me to put up videos that are less than 1 minute if I'm doing them live.
a minute's a long
I
time.
know, and a lot of times I'll stop them because I think the minute is up. I've had to start watching my timer
You
because
can't hold your breath for 5 minutes. It's almost impossible. I think there's people that have been been done, but it's almost impossible. But I think that just it would show you how long 5 minutes is. If you're laying down in your bed tonight and you just grip your fist as hard as you can, and tell your husband, your boyfriend, or set it on your iPhone 5 minutes, and I'll bet you it'll go about a minute. But you think about somebody having somebody's hands around somebody's throat and squeezing it as hard as they can. 5 minutes is a long time, and you've got to intend to kill them to do that. You can't just say, "Well, I was just in a rage and you know this happened." You got to have some intention. So I think that um, you know that's one thing I've seen. They get somebody on the stand, they question them, and that's what they did with that Minnesota officer. He had his knee on the boy's neck for 8 minutes. Well, what they did basically is they played a clock in there and they'll let the jury sit there for 8 solid minutes. If you just set the jury there and let them sit there for 5 to 6 minutes and not do anything, not yell for help, not let go, not realize, hey, this is a bad thing I'm doing here. I don't mean this. It's no other way to say it. He meant to kill her, and he did kill her. And I personally think that you'll see
Uh-oh.
a murder indictment within
Okay.
within 2 weeks.
Sketty had a question. Brian seemed to be such a coward. Do you think he strangled her from behind or used something beside his hands?
I don't know if he used a ligature or something like that. He may have used a rope with a piece of wood on it or something like a garrote, what they call a garrote. But um, he was such a narcissistic personality type thing. I could just see him grabbing her by the throat and holding her down. But it's impossible to say because we don't know. The coroner knows if it was a garrote used or if he used something in the got it from behind or something like that. And they ask an interesting question if other injuries had occurred also,
Yeah, they asked
where
about the hyoid.
the
Uh,
bone. They
yeah,
asked about the
he did
bone in
not
the
answer.
neck, and they didn't because sometimes when you
Oh,
are
crud.
strangled from behind, I think they will break that bone, and here they can.
Okay, the mother said that the link is not working for her.
My link is not working.
Copy the link. Okay, let me tell her she's got to open it in Safari.
Yeah, she needs to open it in Safari or Foxfire. She got Foxfire or Chrome. I think Foxfire is what you need to open it in. She doesn't have Safari. She doesn't have a Mac. Um, we're trying to get her on. The person we got coming, and it's taking a second to. Um, but I don't read anything into other than strangulation. When I saw that, I was surprised because I honestly thought that maybe because of some of the rumors out there that they were supposedly bullet holes in the trees, that maybe she was running from him and he had shot her. But uh, I think what they're saying is the date that that van was parked out there, that might have been the date that he took her out there and dumped her body. So obviously she was probably killed in the van or killed somewhere else, and he transported her out there and dropped her off. And you imagine this though, and now that I think about her shoes, somebody saw her sandals
Yeah,
outside of the van. I can imagine maybe that he picked her up over his shoulder, lifeless body, and the shoes fell off and just happened to fall down that way. And then he carries her out there to wherever he's going to carry her and drops her off. Um, and I'm not sure I saw the pictures when they set up the tent. It looked like it was covered. Something had been covered. A body had been covered, but we can't really tell from photos from above, and they're not really saying. We're trying to get our guest on. She's having a little trouble um, with the app. Did she try to open it
um,
up?
she said she doesn't have nothing. I keep clicking it and nothing
No,
happens.
Dad, she got it. Got her have Foxfire on her computer.
She's got a phone. So when I
Oh,
click on it, it comes up.
what kind of phone does she have?
Okay, let me see if I can send it to her again.
Um, but just the thing that he said about domestic violence, that kind of he's if he didn't if they were suspecting any other person involvement in this at all, he wouldn't have said that because why, if you find a body out in the woods, say with a strangled to death, would you automatically say talk about being domestic violence? No, you would think, well, serial killer, maybe
Oh,
anything.
Katie, Cat, Caddy has wondering if it's possible he shot the place up afterwards to claim she did it and he killed her in self defense. In my opinion, she was dead when the video was taken. He slips back into the van and closes the door.
I don't. You can't claim self defense on strangulation. It's not possible because the length of time it takes to kill somebody while you're strangling them, you can't claim self defense. You got to realize 5 to 6 minutes of being either holding a garrote around somebody's neck or holding your hands around their throat and squeezing their throat. 5 to 6 minutes. The only other way to do that is to knock them out and do it. It might take less time, but I doubt it. Because when you got your hands around somebody's throat, you realize you can shut off a little bit of their air. You might shut out some air, but you got to shut their blood off to their head. I mean, to the brain. Um, it's not as easy. It make the movies. The movies have spoiled us. The movies have thinking if you hit somebody in the head, they're going to knock them out with a gun. That if grab somebody's neck and you twist it, it's going to break their neck. Because I know someone that grabbed my neck from behind and twisted it, and all it did was crack. Thank you, Dina. And remember, I was sitting on the couch and you walked up behind me and went clack in my neck.
Oh, I think you're telling a tall
No, you did
tale.
that.
Oh,
And but it's just not as easy. Um,
Brittany, we're not doing Zoom, we're doing StreamYard, and I just sent it to her email, not just her Facebook Messenger, to see if she can get it from there. She's trying because this mother really wants to talk.
uh, yeah, we'll explain to what her case is in a few minutes. Sorry, I'm starting to yawn again. I always do this when we're on. It's something with this computer, I think.
I think it's because I'm boring.
No. Uh, but, you know, they made a big deal out of this, and I think it needs to be brought up that it is they see it. I mean, he says it's a domestic violence incident. So if he's saying that, he's all but calling Brian the offender, even though the FBI has not named him as the offender. By saying it was a domestic incident, he's all but saying that because there's no other person that she was involved with in
Where did that come? Oh, did you put that back up there?
what? Yeah, just for a second.
Okay.
Uh no other person that he was involved with. I mean, she was involved with other than Brian. So I have you know, another thing I wanted to discuss with you. Where do y'all think Brian's at? There's, you know, I really think that his parents helped him escape, or I believe he's deceased, and I'll tell you why. Um, he's got to know that he is never going to escape this. He can't run. Um, I believe that the reason why the police have not left the preserve where they've supposedly had people see him in the Appalachian Trail and down at this island where they went camping. I believe the police have more knowledge about why they are not giving up their search in the preserve. I believe that possibly he might have left a note that we don't know about. I believe that I had her there for a second there.
Did you? Okay. Yay.
Wait just a
Okay.
minute. Okay. But anyway, it's
Okay. The
gonna
mother's
be
on.
this is
Karen, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank God. I prayed and asked God to make it so you could get on.
Okay.
my name is Thomas.
And I,
I'm a retired police officer. I worked over 33 years in law enforcement, and from homicide to narcotics to patrol, the whole gamut. I worked a lot of stuff, missing persons and everything. And I have read the case file, not the case file, but I've read everything I could about is it your daughter, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Your daughter's disappearance.
how do you say
Yes.
her name?
Kierra.
Kierra. That's what I
Kierra.
thought.
Okay. Um, and I want to tell you right now, I don't, and if I could apologize for those guys up there in the police department, I would, because I really believe that somebody up there has dropped the ball about this case. Um, I just can't believe that they have not discovered something else. I mean, she was a government worker to start
Yeah.
off with too, and she was somebody's. She's a family member.
Yes.
Cindy's
I've
on.
got another investigator that's going to come in here with me too, and we're going to listen to your story and give some insights.
Okay.
Tony, this is. Let me see if I can put it in a different. Maybe yeah, that's a little bit better.
Hey, Tony, I didn't
This
think
is
you heard us.
Tony at the bottom. He has worked a bunch of traffic homicides. He worked some homicide cases, and he's got about 30 years experience also. And we're going to listen to your case, but I'm going to make it. Let me see if I can do something. No, that's not what I want. Uh, okay,
Can you hear me?
go ahead. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
we
you,
got
Tony.
you.
Okay,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Sorry, I'm running late today.
That's okay. Go ahead, Karen, and tell us about your daughter. First, just tell us a little bit personally about your daughter, and then tell us what happened in her disappearance.
Well, my daughter Kierra, she was 26 when she went missing. Also 2.5 months pregnant. She's a very, outgoing, ambitious, lively person. Everything she set her mind to doing since she was a child, she have done it. If she say, I'm gonna do this no matter how long it take, she did it no matter how long it take. So, she was just, you know, lively. She was ready, for her little family to settle down. She had a good job. She bought her a nice little truck. And, she just had moved out of my house. She only been gone about 3, maybe 4 months. So, she was just setting her goals for her life, for her and her child. And then this happened. She just up and go missing and don't nobody have a clue.
All right,
Now,
you said that she had just gotten a new job. How
No,
long
she
has she
she
worked?
had the job already. She had been working with the post office probably about maybe 3 years almost, maybe two.
Oh, okay.
About
what
two
type of
years.
job? What in the post office? What did she do?
She was a letter carrier.
Okay, did
So she delivered the mail.
Yes.
Yep.
right now you said that she was pregnant. Who was the father?
Josh Simmons.
Now, has he? Uh, have they polygraphed him or given him a lie detector?
Not at all. He haven't even been in to speak with the police. And this is 3 years later.
Was he happy about the baby?
As far as I know, what she told me he was. So,
Did they have
on
any
his end,
issues?
I don't know.
How
So
long
the
have they been
day,
dating?
how long had they been together or dating?
6 years.
Wow.
Wow.
She told me that they was planning to have a baby for her to get pregnant. So, to my knowledge,
So they were living
everything
together,
was
I'm assuming,
okay.
or were they living together?
Were they living together?
No, she had her own apartment and he had his.
Okay, let me ask you. Tell me about the day she vanished. Tell me what happened.
Um, I had tried to get in touch with her all that day, and it was no response. Her phone kept going to voicemail, kept going to voicemail. So I had went to go check on her on my lunch break, but she wasn't there. So I just figured, okay, she at work. I'll come back when I get off work. So I still kept calling all that day, kept calling until I got off work. Then when I got off work, I went over there again and, knocked on her front door, went around to the back door. And when there was no answer, I called the police to do a well-being check because we had called her job. I had one of my other children call her job and they had said she was off for that day. So she wouldn't have been in anyway. So me not seeing her all that day, I called the police for them to do a wells being check. And when they went in, they said she wasn't in there. But it had already been 24 hours. I hadn't talked to her, so I made the missing person report. And before the police even got there, one of my oldest daughter had talked to Mr. Simmons, and he said check down the street. Her car might be down the street, which it was, but she would have never parked her car that far down from her building when she could park right in front of her building.
Now, Mr. Simmons was the father
Yes,
of the baby's
yes,
father.
yes.
Well, how did he know that it may be down there?
Because he was the one who brought her car back on the block.
Okay.
Okay.
Were they having issues over the child, or do you know?
No, I don't know if it was
Now, I
private.
thought that
She
I
hadn't
thought
talked to me. We talk about a lot of stuff, so she hadn't told me. It's from my last talking to her, they was happy about it.
okay, I thought I read that the last video of her was leaving in her uniform.
That wasn't her.
Okay, okay,
It
well, I
was a,
did
it
hear
was,
that.
yeah, it was a lady that lived across the street. That's also a postal worker.
Okay, all right.
Okay, because the video had said that it looked like she was walking towards her car and then turned to go down the road, but that wasn't her.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Okay, so who was the last person to see her?
Josh Simmons.
Mm.
So he was the last person. Did he indicate that there was anything?
No, no, he acted like he hadn't seen her either.
Oh, so how do you know he was the last person
Because
to
the
see her?
police told me that he was the last person that saw my daughter. And well, he had to been the last person because we got video of him bringing my daughter car back that morning.
Okay.
And why did he
Uh,
bring it back
Yeah,
from
why
he
did he
where?
drove.
bring it back?
Exactly. He brought it back without her. No.
Okay, have they done any kind of looking into the car? I mean, like, did they check for blood or anything?
Yeah, they did. They said they didn't find any foul play in the car.
Had they asked
How do
him to take
you,
a polygraph?
Well, when they went to go and bring him in, that's when they said his mother slammed the door in their face and said he'll talk to y'all with a lawyer, and he haven't been seen since.
Hmm.
Oh, he's missing.
Well, he not missing. Last I heard, he's in either Louisiana or Texas.
He left.
Okay, okay. So he probably knows something.
Yeah, if he don't have anything to do with it, he knows something.
Hmm.
Because if you
Anthony,
brought her car back, where's my child?
right. Anthony, you had a question?
I've actually got several questions.
Okay.
If y'all can give me a pause, because I don't want to talk over anybody. One question is about the vehicle. You said that they checked the vehicle. Did they impound the vehicle or take the vehicle into the police station to
Yes,
do a forensics?
yes.
Okay. Do you know? Do you know? Did they give you any information as to how they processed this vehicle?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
But when I did ask about it, they said they didn't find any foul play in her vehicle.
Okay. I find it
So what?
extremely odd that he brought a vehicle back and she was the last person, or he was the last person that was seen, or that she was supposedly seen by, and he has not been listed as a suspect.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, how can you tell a mother that he, he not a suspect when he was the last person seen her? He was the one brought her car back. You didn't disappear. So why come that's not enough?
Right.
That's circumstantial evidence in itself.
What kind of
It might not necessarily be um, tangible evidence, but it's enough to raise what is called mere suspicion to
Exactly.
allow a further investigation into the last known walk or trace, if you will, of where she was and where he was. And then they would try to go back and they should have done a phone analysis or something to try to go a little further into that. What department or what agency was this?
Um, it's a police station on 111.
what city?
We in Chicago.
Hey, let me
Oh,
ask you something. Her cell phone, the did it ping anywhere?
That's what I asked them, and they said it didn't because I know she never liked it. You could have your location on. She never liked it that on because I used to ask her like, "Why you want to turn on your location?" Yeah, I don't want that on. So unfortunately, she didn't have that on. I asked, "Was it a GPS on her car?" It wasn't a GPS on her car.
Well, it
what
doesn't
kind of phone
matter.
did she have? An Apple or a
Yeah,
Android?
Apple.
That
But it doesn't
they're
really
they're
matter
always
if the locator's on or not, though. They
yeah
can tell if it's the
the
last
phone is
place
always
seen.
traced. The phone is always traceable, even though they supposedly turn it off. The turning it off is only for general Joe Schmuckatelli public. Just to be
Uh,
honest with you,
well, that's what they had told me.
all the
Like,
phone services have a constant link into that cell phone, and then that cell phone can be traced and linked back every time it goes from one tower to the next. There's always a
and that's what
floating
I
out
thought
log.
when I asked them that. I said, "Well, can't y'all find out the location from off of one of the towers?" They was like, "Well, no, we can't."
Did they recover her phone?
Her phone was in her car.
I see.
Hmm.
Okay, where did he say that he brought her car from? Did he tell you this?
No, he didn't even. He didn't admit that he brought her car back. We know that he brought her car back because it was a camera that caught him bringing the car back.
Okay, I'm gonna step on a limb here. I'm gonna tell you something. Because you're in Chicago, and because there are so many murders and everything going on up there, and they don't have the manpower that should be given to people. I can just tell you right now, somebody dropped the ball big time on that.
Yeah, they did.
Mhm. But let me tell you something.
There's enough stuff right there that
And I think
there should
so
have
too.
been,
I
yeah, there
think
should have been
so.
a whole lot more going on. We should have had, I mean, this should have been in the press just as big as Gabby's case or anybody
Yeah,
else's case.
exactly.
That's why I reached out to you is because you deserve the same amount of publicity and everything as Gabby's family got.
Let me
I
ask
do.
you something, Miss Phillips. Do you know of somebody in the press up there?
As far as which like the news.
Right. Do you know it? Have you contacted the press and said, please publicize this? Or I understand had made the news a little bit, and somebody said that they were going to put this as a high priority case. But like Tony said, Chicago, there's like 10, 12, 15 murders a weekend up there. So, um, I don't, I
Do
don't
I have
know.
different numbers to like the news stations? They always reach out to me and ask me, is there anything that I know, or is anything new, or if I want to just do a interview. Like, her birthday was September the 24th, so we did a little press conference then.
Good.
May I
Okay, I'm
suggest, may I give you a couple of suggestions?
Yes.
One is, one is I would go and I would find an investigative journalist in the Chicago area.
Okay.
Then I would sit down with that investigative journalist and I would tell him about the case, and he would be or she would be a very good advocate to have in this situation. Then the
Okay.
next phase that I would go to, which we tell, I know that Thomas and I tell people this all the time. You definitely need to go to the district attorney's office. But in every district attorney's office, there is a person assigned that's called the victim's advocacy person.
Okay.
That person is supposed to do research and or resources in searching for things to help a victim in a crime. And I feel that based on what you've told me, this should really be, and I don't like to say it like this because you're her mom, but I would look at this as a homicide investigation. I would
Yeah.
not list it as a missing persons, not anymore,
Oh no,
based on
it
everything
was
that
only
you've told
missing.
me.
It was only missing person for like a year. It's now turned over to homicide.
Yeah.
Well, I think they considered an abduction. They've considered it to be an abduction, but regardless, I'm like Tony says. I would, I wouldn't, I. It's like we say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I would
Mhm.
make sure that, like he says, get you somebody, an investigator inside the paper or the news media that want to come follow up leads. Go to the district attorney's office. Keep your side of their face. In other words, keep them. I want them to keep knowing, even if you have to call that and whoever's handling the case every week and say, "Have you found out anything more? Have you found
And we
him?"
do that. And we do that. It's either they don't return phone calls. They always out in the field. Then I try to wait for a little while. I call back. Oh, this person on vacation. They'll call you back. And no one is calling me back.
Okay. Um,
Like Tony said, you need to get somebody within the news people. I
Okay,
mean,
I'm gonna try the
you know,
news journalist and I'm gonna do the district attorney.
Well, make
okay.
right.
sure that it's an investigative journalist, not just a
Okay,
journalist.
investigator.
Okay. Was
Yeah,
this
yes,
your first
investigative journalist.
grandchild?
No,
It wasn't going to be
no.
a daughter and grandchild. And so you need to get, well, I lost my train of thought.
Mhm.
I'll get back to it. It'll come back around.
And you say with the district attorney, I need to speak with the
Victims
victim advocate.
Victim's
advocate.
advocate.
Okay.
Karen, the thing is, your daughter was not one of these thugs out on the street doing drugs. She wasn't a prostitute. And that's not saying that they don't deserve to be found too. I'm not saying
Right. Right.
your daughter was an upstanding citizen working every day. She was fixing up the mom. It is ridiculous that they have not looked for her.
It's,
That
I'm
they
gonna
have
put her picture here. She was
look at that.
she's very beautiful, absolutely beautiful
thank
young
you.
woman, absolutely beautiful. There's no other way to say it. She's absolutely beautiful, and I've got this up here also. This is the U.S. Postal Inspector Service. I
Yes.
understand the reward has gone up. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
It's a 25,000 there, but I understand it has gone up, and that's what I don't understand. Reward money usually generates leads.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you too, um, you ought to see if uh, the postal service or somebody would put up some type of billboard or donate it. One of
yeah.
the billboard companies would donate that billboard in your area for her, like a
Or
lot
for
of for
information.
information leading to an arrest.
We don't have a billboard, but we do have a wall that a mural
Yeah, I
with the
saw
with
that.
the
Yeah,
same information on there.
But
a billboard on a main highway will
I
help.
mean, I know. We did look into that like in the beginning, but it was kind of expensive.
No,
So
I'm saying approach these companies that's doing it as a public service.
Yeah.
okay, okay,
You know,
okay.
Especially because of your daughter's character. You know, um, the the in the isn't the reward at like 49,000? And did the governor put up any, or did the city put up any of the
No,
reward?
the city nor the governor.
Okay,
And
the governors
it said
usually
57,500.
okay, the governors usually put up some money. They have a governor's reward for a missing person. You might see them and see if they'll, because everybody knows that somebody knows something.
Yeah, yeah.
Money speaks.
Who put up the reward?
The postal service, and then just a gentleman that we didn't even know. He put up 18,000. He just happened to see our story and wanted to, donate. His
Wow,
name is Sir Francis. He owns something in Chicago, but he was a kind person that just
that's
donated.
awesome.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Does he
Hey,
own a business?
Yes, he do.
okay,
Well,
look, that's it.
I would use him
Yes,
because
exactly.
usually
That's what
your
I was going to
business
say.
owners in the community tend to be pillars of the community by means of politics.
Okay.
And I hate to say it like that, but that's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, I
And
know.
when business owners go and demand justice, they tend to get more of an ear from the
Okay.
mayor's office and everything else when it comes down to it. Now, let me ask you a couple of other questions. You said that the postal service told you that she had called in sick
No.
or took a
She was
vacation day or
okay.
what?
She went missing on a Tuesday night. So Monday she was off. They gave her Tuesday off because she needed to renew her license because her birthday had just came. So she needed to renew her license. So that's the reason she was off work.
Okay, so she took off work via taking a vacation day or something like that.
Yeah, to get her license together.
All right, so
Did she get her license?
I never found them. If she did, I never, because I never found her actual purse. When they say they found the purse in the car, it was a purse, but she was using it for a lunch bag, so it had her prenatal vitamins in it, a water, and some fruit. So it really wasn't a purse, but it was.
all right,
So
so
I
let
never
me
actually found her original purse with her wallet and keys and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me ask you this. When when she put in for to take off for Monday and Tuesday, when was that submitted?
It was submitted the night before she went missing. And the way she was able to do that, if it even was her, because Mr. Simmons also worked at the post office, you could do it by phone. You don't have to call in and use your voice or nothing. You could do it. It's a way that they was doing it by phone. So he could have easily did it.
Yeah.
He works at the
Okay.
post office?
That's
Yes, he do. They don't
What does
work at
he
the
do?
same, not at the same post office, but he do work for the postal office.
So, but he's gone missing though, right?
Yeah, he moved out of state.
But the post office probably knows where he's at.
Yeah,
I
I'm
imagine he
sure.
didn't give that job up.
Well, before he left, he hadn't been going there, so I don't know if he
Oh,
left
okay.
it or transferred it out. I'm just not sure of
Well,
how he did anything.
let me tell you something that Tony brought up that I think is a real good idea. I would get in contact with this sir, the business owner,
Uh-huh.
and thank him personally for putting up part of the reward,
Hmm.
but also say, can you please help me get her name out more to get investigators, the police department, see if you know anybody at the police department that can help us get some investigation on this. I feel like that we've been ignored. And he's like Tony said, it may just take him picking up the phone, one phone call. That's all
Okay.
it would take.
Okay.
Because I'm sure he knows the mayor or knows somebody. And that I'm telling you, we were cops, and I can tell you, if my chief walks into me and hands me something and says, look into that, I'm not doing anything else until I can get, we lost her there,
Uh-oh.
until I can get a hold of doing what he wants me to do.
Right.
He all he has to do is walk in and hand me an envelope and say, I want something done on this, and I'm going to do that before I do anything else. And that's what
Okay.
all it would take is a business person or a political, if you know any uh council members in your area, I would hit them up. Go to the council member that's in your area and say, we just need some help on this. We feel like we're being ignored. And I'm going to tell you, though, and this is a bad thing to say, but it is against you that the whole city is predominantly black. It's against you. If it was
Yeah.
predominantly white, then you could what I'm saying is use anything you can for your advantage.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in the city of Chicago, you're not the minority, you're the
Right.
majority. So
Yeah.
if you were a minority, then you could say, look, you're if I was this color, you in other words, I'm just saying if it was my job, I would use anything to get more investigation done. I'd
Okay.
contact my city council. I'd contact the mayor's office.
Governor,
I would contact the governor's office. I
even
would
the
contact the press.
Washington, even
You know,
your senator in Washington D.C.
I would
Contact them.
I would pull as many strings as I could to get the investigation going on this because there's no reason why that guy, her boyfriend, shouldn't have been interviewed or polygraphed. No
Exactly.
reason,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and I feel for you. I really do, and I know Tony does too. We want to find the missing. There's no color of whether you're black, red, yellow, brown, whatever. It does not white, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I want the missing found. Period. And
Yes.
we will give you as much of a soapbox as we'll give the next person. But
Okay.
I
Thank you
would
so much.
Do you have a GoFundMe page?
No.
Okay. You've got your money for the for
reward.
Do a
Yeah.
GoFundMe page. Put your store. Go on GoFundMe and read about some of the missing parents. Put you a GoFundMe page up there and say you're going to use it for billboards and flyers and stuff like that.
We had tried that, but in Chicago, well, it was even out of Chicago, but it's so many people scamming, trying, setting it up at the same time. So I just had cut it down because it was getting ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
ridiculous. It
I
wasn't even going to
understand.
the right place. Everybody tried to set up different people I didn't even know or where they came from was trying to set it up. So we just said, if somebody can take it to the postal office themselves, that was fine. Then that way we knew it was going to the right place.
Right.
Yeah, and it shows your honesty by doing that. That this is personal for you. You want to find your daughter. You
Right.
do.
Well, the
Um,
GoFundMe page could also help get you a PI to help investigate.
well, she doesn't have to do that. It's got one of the biggest police departments in the United
I know,
States.
but if there's
I'm
But
gonna
what I'm
try
saying
these
is,
two steps y'all just gave me with the investigator and the district attorney. I'm work on them tomorrow to see,
and
what we can how we can get this started.
contact your city council members too. That
Okay.
like it that
Up
especially in
there,
your
they're
ward.
called ombudsman, I think.
Well, let me go start at the bottom. Especially like in your ward that you have somebody that's in charge.
Yeah.
They're elected. They're elected, and they want us to get elected again, and they get paid and stuff. So you go to them and press on them that you need somebody in the police department pay attention. You
Okay.
know, and not just tell
fight,
me
fight for
it's going to do
fight
this.
for Kierra because she can't,
Okay.
and we
And
will be
I,
praying.
I appreciate any little
Miss
help.
Phillips,
I appreciate your advice. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me. I really appreciate it.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I was just going to say, Miss Phillips, it is definitely a very odd situation that they had him on video bringing the car back and actually have pictures to prove it. And if they had to question him and he denied it, like I remember something like you said, he denied it at first, but then they had pictures that he did bring it back. That in itself would have opened up Pandora's box in an
Exactly. And that's
investigation.
exactly what I thought. But when I asked them that, they said, well, whoever they take it to, the okay to bring him in said it wasn't enough. it could damage the case if they bring him in off of
Oh
just
my
that.
gosh.
Bringing
That
That's
somebody
what
in,
that man
yeah,
said in
bringing
my face
someone
and
in for
told me.
questioning. Yeah, bringing someone in for questioning. People are brought in all the time and questioned about a crime, and hence they can very well be proven to
But
not be involved in
he
the crime
lawyered up.
merely because
So
the officers do their job to investigate.
right. He lawyered up when they went to go get him. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so he got a lawyer now. What? Well, we wait for his lawyer to contact us. And
What?
yeah, they kept saying
Oh
they
my
waiting for the
God.
lawyer to contact. So that's when I said, so just because he got a lawyer, that means he could just sit back and live his life while my daughter is missing. Because he
Yeah.
keeps saying he got a lawyer.
Right.
Mm.
well, it does limit what they can do. It does. I'm gonna be honest with you. If he does, but it doesn't mean that the investigation stops. And I think if there's ways, if they had enough, they could, it might be enough to even charge him with something. Um, I'd want to find out there. Well, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence with him bringing the car back on them, like Tony said.
Right.
I just think that they may have enough to charge him with something. I don't know, but one thing you can do if worse comes to worse, if got contact you an attorney and find out if you have enough to sue him for wrongful
Yeah.
death.
Good
Okay.
idea. Good idea.
The attorney may tell you no, not at this time, but that's how they got OJ, and that's how they got a bunch of other people that they sued him for wrongful death, and they found OJ liable. And if you sue somebody in civil court, they cannot refuse to come and give you what they call an interrogatory, a lawyer an interrogatory. They can't refuse it. If they do, they're in contempt of court.
Okay.
So it's just I would just contact an attorney and find out what they think.
Okay.
Okay.
On our chat, while we're talking, people are chatting. I don't know if you can see that. You
No,
need
I
to go.
can't.
Okay, go back and watch this video after it's over, maybe tomorrow. Go back and read the chat that's going to be running as we're talking.
Okay.
Read the chat because there's a lot of good suggestions there, and
Okay.
also there's a lot of people lifting you up in prayer.
Yeah,
Okay.
and one thing too, Sergeant Melinda that's in our chat said that a theft of an unauthorized vehicle, which they could maybe, if they can prove that she never gave him permission to drive her car, they might could get him possession unauthorized use of a vehicle. Now I don't know what Chicago's law is on that,
Mm-hmm.
but it depends on what the police want to do on this, and how far they want to take it. But I definitely would
Well, they got Brian for
I
credit
would
card use.
yeah, I definitely would contact my city councilman and try to get something stirred up. The like we say, the greasy wheel gets the grease. It's
Yes.
not the guy that sits around and lets it go. And the longer it's day by day for y'all, I know it's got to be
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, this definitely would be considered a code case at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, because of everything just the brief stuff that you've already said, to me, it's like red flag, red flag, red flag, red. I mean, I see a whole lot of what if questions that needs to be asked, and things should have been undertook that was not, or it seems like they were not compared to uh, any normal investigation that would take place.
Mhm. Yeah, but just what I say, you got to get the heat on the people that are looking into it, and that's with the councilmen. You got to keep the heat on them, because if not, you like Tony says, it will go cold, and it
Okay.
will remain in the file over there and won't go anywhere.
Okay,
Okay.
I have a question because I don't know. How would she reach out to Cold Case Files 2020, the
I
NBC?
have I have with
Okay,
Dateline, I keep sending them email trying to see if if they'll hear my story. But and I was thinking about the um I forgot her name. It's another, it's a black lady.
Nancy Grace. No?
Nancy
No, she a
Grace.
black lady. I think she do like the same thing. She said her sister was murdered like some years ago, and she be doing the same thing, like listening to people's stories and stuff.
Yeah. Um,
Well, now maybe, how about if we suggest to our subscribers to reach out to 2020, the Cold Case Files, NBC, or whoever you've reached out to already, and just
Yeah,
give them her name and say, hey, look into this case.
yeah,
Well, if enough of us email them, who knows? Maybe
yeah.
yeah.
that may get you a call.
What year
That's
car
right.
was it she was driving?
Oh
It
yeah.
was like a 2015, if I'm mistaken, Kia, a little small truck.
And they couldn't look in the black box in the car, like if
I asked all of them questions.
everything.
Really?
Well, not all cars have GPS, but they may have. It may tell them. A lot of them tell them how far they ran. But well, I would, if I were you, I would keep doing what you're doing as far as with TV shows and stuff, to keep sending them messages, uh, and like we said, go to your local politicians and appeal to them that to please uh, help you with getting the police department to look further into it.
Have you
Okay.
And
talked? Have you talked to her closest female friend?
Yeah.
What is her closest female friend shared with you?
Nothing. Everybody pretty much got the same story. She was happy. She just had her friends over because her birthday was just on the 24th of September. So, nobody had nothing like bad to say about him. Like, you know, he put on a real good impression around you if for him to do what he did, and or just the way he acted during this situation, nobody had nothing bad to say. That's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt in the beginning. Didn't want to just point my finger at him, because he was there when I made the missing person report. He was talking to one police. I was talking to one. So he said that he would help do anything that he could. And then for you to just disappear two days later, it was just like a big shocker.
Mm-hmm.
so the her car now is in front of her house now. Who's got her car?
Well, they said the police still got a car.
What? 3 years?
Well, the last that okay, I'm not sure now because I haven't asked about the car, but with the last like year and a half, when that first happened, they say they still had it. So I don't know if it went back to the dealership because it was, it was she was still paying on it, or what happened with the car because I didn't ask. I
Did you
just
were
been
you
asking
able to
about
get
her.
were you able to get her personal belongings out?
Well, what was that? No, because they took everything. They took the whole car, which was only a jacket, her phone, and the little purse that she was
What about
using
her
for a lunch
residence?
bag.
What about her residence?
Did
Her,
anybody search her residence,
yes,
her
they
house?
they 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 ramshacked searching her residence. So they took folks had took forensics out of there, and they took a couple of things and bags out, which I don't know what it was. To do
Who
testing or
was the
whatever.
lead detective? Who was the lead detective?
I got all that wrote down, and I just moved, so I will have to find that.
That's
But
all right. Tell you what, don't put it on. Can you just email us his name,
okay,
and if we can, um,
We're going to get you in touch with somebody that has a lot of connections,
okay,
and she will help you. So when you get off, private message me your telephone number,
okay,
and this girl will call you and talk to you. Maybe not today, but she will get in touch with you if she has some more ideas about how to help you. and she seems to know a lot of people.
Okay.
And so and listen, we love this girl, and she has helped us so much that I believe that she would help you too.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, we're going to go now. And if you think of anything else that we need to look into about this, please do not hesitate to reach out to Medina, my wife. And I
Okay.
promise if you need to come on another time,
Yep.
we'll have you back on. It's
Okay.
not a problem.
Thank
Just
you
keep
so much.
us. You just become one of our family members, like in our missing person family. So if you need anything at all, okay.
And
Okay.
Uh,
when you send me your phone number, I'm going to send you mine. And you
Okay.
can text me or you can call me, okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
all right, all
All
right.
right.
Good night.
Okay. Good night.
Don't forget, go back and look.
She will. Uh, Tony, that is odd. Started to tell her too that Chicago is like a war zone up there, and
Right.
uh, the police department is overrun with cases, and I'm sure that that's played into the fact that they haven't pursued it the way. But I'm like you. Why in the world didn't they pull this guy in, even if he lawyered up and
Mhm.
Put some pressure on him.
put some heat on him with his lawyer and say, you know, we can, I guess if we find you're involved, then it's not going to be good.
Okay, let me tell y'all something real quick before some people start getting off. We have a brother coming on Thursday night who's missing a brother and can't seem to get any help. And so he's coming on Thursday night. And then next Tuesday night, we've got a guy coming on who his friend went missing 17 years ago. She was 18 years old. She went to the car wash and never came home. And you know what the police told her parents? They said she's 18. She can leave if she wants to. They never investigated. I know, Anthony, right? 18 years old, went to a car
Mm.
wash. And
Yeah.
so he's coming on to
So
talk about
Tony,
her.
if you want to come back, I'll
Yeah.
expect you back, buddy. If you're not
It,
teaching
this
somewhere.
this it is this Thursday night.
Thursday night's the brother who's missing a brother.
And
And Tuesday
Tuesday
is
night
a
is
friend who's
yeah.
missing a friend.
Okay. I know I might get to come on later, but I know I already have obligations for my men's group at church.
Okay. Well, maybe you can make it in time for some of
Where are
it.
you going to church now, Anthony?
The Island Church, same with as what you and I used to go to together.
Which one?
Holland.
Oh, we're at the big church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's preaching, Brother Fred?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, I got to tell y'all something a little bit light on the light side. So we were in Peninsula State Park yesterday, and we were parked, and this lady came up and she saw our sign on the side of the windows, our sticker that said 1 million mile road trip, and we got to talking. This woman, I know from now on we're going to grab a camera and say, "Do you mind if we film you?" She was stinking hilarious. She was talking about our dogs and her animals and all. She's got an African parrot
That's talks.
that talks. And she said, "Let me tell you some
Could
funny."
it sound like Tommy after
No.
No, just listen.
bird
No,
She
it wasn't out there with us.
No, she said she said they can live 50 years, so she's got to find somebody to take it. And I told Tommy, I said, let's take that bird. Anyway, this lady said that one day cops came on and it was
Bird
going,
listens to cops.
yeah, listens to cops, and it goes, bad boy, what you gonna do when they come for you? And she says the bird yells, run, run. It was so funny.
It said that they had somebody there cleaning the house or something.
No, her husband
Or
needed hospice was
yeah.
there helping her husband, and they had taken him to give him a bath, and he
Yeah.
said, "Hey Ned, what you doing in there? What's going on in there?"
Bird now sounds just like a human being.
And said the pastor came by and was praying, and said the bird was going, yeah, Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
Said he wouldn't teach the bird any cuss words, though, because he's afraid what he
This
say.
lady was so. We've decided we're going to start saying, "Can we film you?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she was so precious, and she may be watching tonight. I hope she knows that she made our day yesterday.
Oh, that
Well,
bird,
you
though.
saw that. You saw that
Run,
text that I sent
run.
you.
What?
Huh?
I said, Did you see that text?" I'm trying to look back
Yeah, I
to see,
did.
but I'm talking about the text about somebody that looked like you.
No.
Yes, I read it to you. I showed it to you. It was that. Yep. Don't look at me like that. I didn't send it. He did.
No.
It
I
does.
did
If
find
you was to put
somebody that
on a
looked like
hat,
me.
if you was to put on a little hat like he wears in his little family,
Negatory.
yeah, I'm telling you, it'd be you. It could be your brother.
No. Negatory.
See, and you know,
Anyway,
if we said the man's name, everybody on here would go look it up, and then they would turn around and they would all agree with me and say, "Oh my goodness, is that Tommy on another YouTube channel?"
Nah. I hear you. We'll see you, Sergeant Melinda. Uh, but
goodness gracious, Gracie. All right, we're in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Y'all pray it.
Sturgeon.
Yes, pray it gets pretty because we've had nothing but
although
rain.
Saturday is supposed to be 58 degrees up here.
It's actually supposed to be
58.
59 down here on Saturday
What?
night.
Oh,
No,
Saturday
it's
night.
Saturday. And I'm in mourning
Yes, we are
over
in
the
mourning.
Alabama game. I'm in mourning where they lost to Texas A&M.
I think
But
everybody in Alabama. I think everybody in Alabama is in mourning. Auburn and Alabama lost.
yeah,
Hey, Melinda said she knows who you're talking about, Tony.
hey, cut that out.
Oh, she
I did
does.
see. I do have a picture of a guy that I tell you looks like me.
Well, this guy looks just like you.
Negatory. That guy did not look like me at all. This was a real. I'll show you a picture of this one.
Oh my goodness, it's funny.
Oh, I don't think it's funny.
I hope all of you will
We are
come back
going to
and join
be
us Thursday night.
yes, when we're gonna be down there on January and some of February. So
We actually have a month booked.
yeah, we do have a month booked, but we're going to try to get the rest of it booked. But anyway,
Anthony, why don't you put in a place beside your house for us to park, to pull back there and park? We'll pay you.
Oh, I would if I actually had a yard that was big enough to park a
he
car
lives in a
in.
townhouse. He's rich. He lives in a townhouse.
Okay, he don't have to do yard work.
He lives in one of the expensive townhouses. All right. Well, I
What
wanted
is
to you missed the first part of this, Tony, about Gabby's autopsy report came out today.
I did strangulation.
Yeah, and that you see where the coroner said that it was domestic. He called it
Oh,
out as domestic. Yeah, so that pretty much seals the deal for Mr. Bryan. I wouldn't
yeah,
doubt they do have a warrant for him, an indictment for him for murder within the next, I'd say, 3 weeks. I'm
yeah.
guessing 3 weeks. What do you think?
They probably. Truth of the matter is, they probably already have one, and they're just waiting to take it to grand jury anyway.
Yeah, see, this is what was reported in the news. Dr. Blue made a statement regarding domestic abuse. So, um, the domestic abuse and strangulation. Yeah, I won't doubt that they will. All right, brother, we're gonna go. Tell your lovely family we said hello. We
Okay.
appreciate them letting you come on, and and
Hey,
hey,
y'all keep Julie in your prayers. Julie and
yeah,
Doc, they're having some health issues, and so y'all be
and
praying
yes,
for them, please.
absolutely.
Okay.
And we will be back on
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Hopefully,
meet
we'll
wait a
see you,
minute.
Tony.
Yeah, Thursday night. Hopefully, we'll see you, Tony.
Okay.
All right, boys and girls. We love y'all, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Where am I at here? I gotta do this. I know where I'm at, but I just gotta get my things out here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.